Hey guys, it's Ashley with Unrefined Naturals. Thank you so much for stopping by to watch my video today. So this is part 2 of the 5-part series, Reaching Your Hair Goals. If you missed the first video about promoting growth, I will link it in the description box. So today's video is all about retaining length. So if you're interested in finding out how to get your hair to grow to longer lengths, stay tuned. So the first thing I want you guys to remember when it comes to retaining length is protect those ends. Guys, most important part of your hair, especially when it comes to retaining length, are the ends of your hair. They're the oldest, they're the most fragile, the most brittle, they're drier, they break so easily. So just simply brushing and combing your hair can cause breakage. So you want to be extremely gentle. So let's get into what it means to protect your ends. Pro tip number 1, be gentle. You want to be as gentle as possible when you're dealing with the ends of your hair. Finger detangle if possible. You can control the pull and the tension when you're detangling. If you can't use your fingers for whatever reason, use a wide tooth comb. You can get those almost at any store, and they really do make a difference when it comes to detangling. I personally use my fingers for about 75% of the tangling, and then I use a comb for the rest of it. And that has really helped decrease the amounts of times my hair breaks. So I really encourage you guys to do that. Pro tip number 2, moisturize your ends. Guys, the ends of your hair needs moisture more than any other part of your hair. Again, it's the oldest, it's the driest, most fragile. You want to keep them moisturized, especially during styling and style takedown. If you've had braids in for 3 months and you're trying to take your braids down after no moisture has hit your hair, your ends are prone to break. So you want to make sure you're spritzing them with a leave-in conditioner, using any type of moisturizer or oil. Just make sure you're saturating your ends before you're manipulating. That will make all the difference. The more moisture your ends retain, the less prone it will be to breaking. Guys, most important step, moisturize and be gentle with your ends. All right, moving on to number 2. Okay, number 2, wear a satin or silk bonnet or scarf at bedtime. Ladies, I know this is not the most appealing way to go to bed, but your spouses and significant others are just gonna have to understand. You have hair goals you wanna meet, and one of those is retaining length. So let's talk about why satin or silk is better than any other fabric. When you wear a bonnet or scarf at night and you're moving, your hair is constantly rubbing up against that fabric. Satin and silk create less friction and they retain moisture. The reason why you want to create less friction, the more your hair is rubbing up against the surface, the drier your hair is going to get, which means it's prone to breakage. So we want to maintain that moisture and decrease the amount of friction that's going on. So that's why we want to use satin or silk. And there's a lot of naturalistas out there that just prefer to use a satin pillowcase, and that is okay. But to me, I suggest using an actual bonnet or scarf, because if your hair is in a compact position, it doesn't have a lot of room to move, even if you're moving a lot at night. So that means, again, less friction. If you're having your curls free on a satin pillowcase, that is better than cotton or other fabric, but your hair is still creating more friction against that surface versus it being in a bonnet or scarf, more compact, not doing a lot of movement. Again, it also retains your moisture, so if you moisturize your hair before bed, it should still be just as moisturized in the morning. It really keeps your style intact, so you're really actually doing 3 things all in one when you are using a bonnet or a scarf. All right, so moving on to number 3. Okay, number 3 is protective styles and low manipulation styles. This is a really important step when it comes to retaining length, especially if you have curly, kinky, or coily hair. So let's get into the definition of a low manipulation style and a protective style. A protective style is a style in which you do not have to manipulate your hair at all for days or weeks at a time. An example of that would be box braids, mini twists, sew-ins, crochet, wigs. Those styles you do not have to touch your hair until you're ready to take that style out. A low manipulation style is a style in which you don't have to manipulate your hair very much while you have that style in. So an example of that would be buns, braid outs, twist outs. You still have to manipulate your hair a little bit, but only for retouches, and it's not that much manipulation. The reason why these are important is because the less manipulation on your hair, the less prone it is to breakage. Your hair is not going to just break when nothing's going on with your hair. It's only when you're manipulating it is when it breaks. So if your hair is braided up into a bun, or you have a sew-in or a wig, you're not touching your hair, but you're still taking care of your scalp and promoting that growth, you're going to retain that length. The more you can get your ends moisturized and tucked away for longer periods of time, the more length you're going to be able to retain. I can contribute about 50% of my length retention to protective styles. I use low manipulation and protective styles maybe 75% of the year. Well, let's say this, 3 weeks out of every month I have a protective style in, whether it's a braid to the back, a bun, a twist out, a braid out. I typically do not manipulate my hair very much. And that is the reason why one of the reasons why I've been able to retain so much length. So this is a really important step. And there's so many to choose from. You have braid outs, twist outs, buns, cornrows, box braids, mini twists, the big twist, crochet braids, wigs, sew-ins. There's so many to choose from. YouTube has 1,000 videos on protective styles. So if you don't really know what kind of protective styles go with your hair, or if you don't really want to spend a lot of money going to a beautician, YouTube will be your best friend when trying to figure out what low manipulation style and what protective style is best for your hair and best for your lifestyle. Guys, that is all for this video. I want to make it short and sweet. This is not all when it comes to the steps to retaining length. There's 3 more points I want to get at, but I'm going to do that on the next video. So please stay tuned. Please follow me on all social media platforms. That's Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram, and just check out my post about healthy hair tips to keep you on top of your game. I'll see you guys later. Bye.